The following is a Hoop Ball presentation.
Good evening, Hoop Ballers. Along with David, this is Hank Aaron, and we're talking box score breakdown on November 19th. David, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. How about yourself, Hank?
Doing very well, We got a quick 4-game slate tonight, so let's get you through the games. Let's see what's going on, and let's help you upgrade and update your lineups here. So let's start with the first game of the night, the Golden State Warriors getting a much-needed win on the road against the Grizzlies. Over on the Warriors side, we saw Draymond Green playing fairly well. 8 points on 4 of 12 shooting. Didn't hit either one of his 2 3-point attempts, but 10 rebounds, 11 assists, 2 blocks, only 1 turnover. Pretty good line from him. And anybody that took him relatively early in their drafts, they probably were somewhat concerned with him, especially after he went out for a few games with the injury. But it looks like he's playing, and he's playing well. So he should be good to go for top 50 value as long as he plays. Eric Pascal, 7 of 15 from the field, 3 for 3 from the free throw line. Missed his 2 3-point attempts, 17 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 block, 2 turnovers for him. Again, with D'Angelo Russell out, looks like he's going to be getting more opportunity, and he's going to continue to provide value as long as Russell's out, and he may be able to do that even when he comes back in. Glenn Robinson, the third, 8 of 14 from the field, 3 of 6 from the three-point line, 1 of 1 from the free throw line, 1 rebound, 2 assists, no steals, no blocks, no turnovers, 20 points for him. Again, same story. Russell is out. There's a lot of usage to go around. Willie Cauley-Stein, 26 minutes, 2 of 3 from the field, 2 of 2 from the free throw line, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, 1 turnover, 6 points. So the big drag on his value has typically been free throw shooting. He hasn't been on fire to start the season by any means, but if he could put up lines like that, he will be on the standard league radar. And with all the usage to go around in Golden State, he's somebody that's not bad to take a chance on, just as long as you realize that his free throw shooting is typically takes down his value some. On the bench, we had a Marcus Chris sighting, 21 minutes, 7 of 11 from the field, 3 of 4 from the free throw line, missed his 2 3-point attempts, but 6 rebounds, 2 assists, no steals, 4 blocks, 2 turnovers. Marquise Chris has been someone that has tantalized fantasy owners for a long time. He's never consistently delivered before. It's unlikely that he becomes a consistent player this year, but he's certainly worth taking a look at. Just keep monitoring him. When I say take a look, I don't mean at him. I mean take a look from the wire. If he strings together 2 or 3 good games in a row, I'd be willing to take the chance on him in a 12 or 14 team league with your last roster spot, just because he does have the ability to rack 3-pointers and blocks, and that's always a nice combination. Other than him, we had Kai Bowman going off for 25 minutes, only 1 of 3 from the field, 1 3-pointer, 5 assists, 2 rebounds, 3 points. So same kind of story. Russell is out. There's a lot of opportunity for these players. Bowman not providing good value tonight, but if Russell remains out and you're desperate for assists, he's someone that you can use. Omari Spellman got another 23 minutes tonight. 3 of 9 from the field, 2 threes from him, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 9 points. I'm not really going to be looking at him in fantasy leagues, but again, if the Warriors suffer any more injuries, even he may become relevant. You see anything else worth discussing on the Warriors side?
No, as you said, they're pretty decimated with injuries right now. So other than those guys we went over, I don't see too much value on their team.
All right, what do you see over on the Grizzlies side?
All right, from Memphis, John Morant back in the starting lineup looked great. 34 minutes, 20 points. Had a 3-pointer, 7 of 20 from the field, 5 of 6 from the free throw line, 6 assists, 2 rebounds, 3 turnovers, a steal, and a block. So looking really, really strong in his rookie season. Definitely loving the production that he's bringing from United night out. JJJ continues to have a buy low window open on him, but there's definitely some room for real concern here with his production. Only 18 minutes tonight, 6 fouls, fouled out of the game, 8 points on 3 of 7 from the field, 1 3-pointer made, 1 or 2 from the free throw line. No rebound tonight, which is very strange. No assists and 1 turnover. So obviously you can tell with the low minutes, foul trouble was definitely the issue, and it's a recurring issue for JJJ. Hopefully he'll at some point in time figure it out in his career, but I think for those of us who spend an early 3rd round, 4th round pick on him, it might not return that value this season, unfortunately. The other big man for the Grizzlies tonight, Jonas Valanciunas, 26 minutes tonight, only 7 points, so low offensive output tonight, also low rebounding output, only 6 boards, 3 assists, and a turnover. JV does a really good job in the percentage category, so he's not really going to hurt you there, but on nights like tonight where he has a pretty pedestrian line, definitely leaving you kind of desiring a little bit more. Jay Crowder's definitely been a surprise on the Memphis Grizzlies this season. 33 minutes, 15 points, had 4 3-pointers tonight, 11 rebounds, which you really, really love, 4 assists and 2 turnovers. So definitely been a fringy kind of guy in 12-team leagues, but I think at this point in time, if he is still floating around out there, you're definitely going to want to snatch him up. He's been playing pretty consistent, and I definitely think the minutes are there for him to kind of continue to have this production. And then Dylan Brooks, 32 minutes tonight, 18 points, 3 3-pointers, 3 rebounds, 2 steals, and a block. Don't usually get the defensive stats, but you're going to love them when you get them. But we know Dylan Brooks is. He's definitely more suited for points leagues. He's going to give you those points, but it's going to be pretty volatile as far as the point production. So kind of give and take there, if you will. Outside of the big 5 for Memphis, Brandon Clark continues to look really, really good as well in his rookie season. 25 minutes, 17 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, steal and a block. Definitely think he's going to have a really, really good amount of value in the kind of second half of the season after that turn, after All-Star break. But for the time being, if you have him, definitely continue to hold on to him. I think that he's somebody who's going to be pretty strong. How about you, Hank? You see anything else on this roster?
Well, I think Jay Crowder's kind of interesting because he's providing low end 12-team value, and if he's able to get his percentages up some, he could move higher than that. And last year, his percentages took a big dip. It wasn't clear if it was a fluke or that's just going to continue to be the case, and his percentages are still pretty poor this year. So I think you're right. He's worth taking a shot on if he's available in a 12-team league, and he may actually even give you more value than you expect, because if he can get his percentages up somewhat closer to his career averages, he could end up being a very nice add off the wire.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right, let's go over to the next game here. We've got the Blazers visiting the Pelicans. Now, Damian Lillard was out with back spasms, so all the numbers tonight, you have to consider that Lillard was out, so it affects the usage, and obviously there's a lot more to go around. The other big news is that Carmelo Anthony has reemerged in the NBA. And he got the start tonight. 24 minutes for him. 4 of 14 from the field, 2 threes, 4 rebounds, 1 block, 10 points, 5 turnovers. So not a great start for him. But if you're desperate for points and threes, it's possible there's a role for him. I wouldn't rush to add him in a 12-team league, but if you're in a 14 or a 16-team league, he may make sense if you need those stats. And if you're in a points league, he may not be terrible either. But standard 12-team leagues, he's not quite an ad for me just yet. And I'm not sure he's going to even get there. Hassan Whiteside had a pretty good night tonight. 29 minutes, 5 of 7 from the field, 4 of 4 from the free throw line, which you really like if you have him. 14 rebounds, 1 block, 4 turnovers. Dings the value a little bit, but 14 points overall. Pretty good night for him. CJ McCollum did most of the shooting tonight. 9 of 22. 4 3-pointers, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, 1 turnover, 22 points for him. Rodney Hood, 4 of 12 from the field, 0 of 2 from the 3-point line, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, 1 turnover. And Anthony Simons, 4 of 13 from the field, 3 of 5 from the 3-point line, 2 of 4 from the free throw line, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, no steals, no blocks, no turnovers either. So a lot of, obviously with Lillard out, a lot more usage to go around, but nobody really did too much. McCollum took advantage a little bit, but otherwise the Blazers didn't have a great game. Off the bench, you had Kent Bazemore, 28 minutes, 3 of 8 from the field, 3 3-pointers, 2 of 2 from the free throw line, 4 assists, 3 rebounds. So not too much going on with the Blazers. Obviously, without Lillard, it's kind of becomes Whiteside and McCollum as the only must-start, must-own players. Hood and Simons, if you're desperate, you could use those guys for scoring and three-pointers. And Carmelo Anthony, not quite someone I would be adding. Obviously, he's a big name, so you keep your eye on him. And off the bench, I mean, Hazonia, 13 minutes, 3 of 5 from the field, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 turnover. If you're wondering about how good he's been playing, I mean, he was playing so poorly that they had to sign Carmelo Anthony. So, he's not going to be worth an ad either. Anything else on the Blazers side?
No, I agree with you 100% about Mario Hazonia. He is what he is, and at this point in time, we know that the Blazers are really, really hurting. So they had to bring in Melo, and yeah.
And I kind of glanced over Nasir Little, but let me just give him a little bit of love here. 23 minutes tonight, 5 of 6 from the field, 2 threes, 11 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 2 blocks, 1 turnover. Keep your eye on him. Obviously, he's new to the NBA, and he's a rookie, and so we don't have too much historical information on him. And obviously this season he's only been playing about 15 minutes a game, a little bit more run tonight because Lillard was out. So, if he ends up emerging in a bigger role and he continues with these kind of lines, he may have some value, but obviously not someone to be rushing and adding just yet. Okay, now over on the Pelican side, David, what do you see with these guys?
Well, with the Pelicans, they welcomed Brandon Ingram back tonight, so that was definitely great for them, and they loved the production he provided. 21 points tonight in 34 minutes, 8 of 20 from the field, had a three-pointer, perfect 4 of 4 from the free throw line, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, a block, and 3 turnovers. So definitely a welcome home party for Brandon Ingram coming back off of I believe, what was it, a 3 or 4 game absence?
Yeah.
He was out of the lineup, so definitely like to see that. Brandon Ingram has been, really breaking out this season, and I think that he can continue to really, really play strong. I do wonder what it's going to look like when Zion returns to the lineup, but while you have him, you definitely love it. With Brandon Ingram being back, that definitely helped kind of level out the lineup, and Jrue Holiday had a pretty good night as well. 34 minutes, 22 points, 10 of 18 from the field, so 55% tonight. You definitely love that. His field goal percentage has really been a huge boon on his value to start out this season, and as that kind of goes on an uptick, I think that all the other numbers will kind of go along with that. 5 rebounds for Jrue, 10 assists, 5 turnovers, which is very high, and no defensive stats. But again, as Jrue's kind of figuring out that the Pelicans really love to run and push the pace, so having BI back in the lineup, I'm sure they wanted to get out and get running. So look for that to kind of level out. J.J. Redick, again, getting the minutes since Lonzo Ball has been out of the lineup. 32 minutes tonight, 18 points on 6 of 12 from the field, 4 3-pointers, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, no turnovers, no defensive stats. J.J. is probably a good streaming option for threes at this point with the Pelicans being so dinged up in their lineup. But season-long value, I really don't think he's going to be able to produce a whole lot. As we saw earlier in the season when the Pelicans kind of had a more solidified lineup, he wasn't really doing a whole lot. So I do wonder what that looks like when they're back to 100% health. With their front court being such a mess right now, Derek Favors was out tonight. Jahlil Okafor was out tonight. So Kendrick Williams and Jackson Hayes got to start. Kendrick Williams, 33 minutes, only 8 points on 2 of 3 from the field, 2-4 from the free throw line, 13 rebounds, which is great, 3 steals, a block, 2 turnovers, and assist. So when this guy gets the minutes, he can really, really produce. So you definitely love to see that. Not really a guy who you're going to count on for a big scoring output, but can definitely bring those boards, can definitely bring those defensive stats. So somebody to keep an eye on. And then Jackson Hayes, only 20 minutes at the center position, 9 points, 3 of 8 from the field, 3 or 4 from the free throw line, 7 rebounds, 2 steals, and 3 blocks. Definitely love the defensive numbers, but again, it's kind of a log jam right now in the front court for the New Orleans Pelicans. So maybe once they get everybody back to full strength, we kind of see how that materializes, and Jackson Hayes could be a valuable player, but I think maybe he's better suited for a dynasty league. And then Nickeil Alexander-Walker, as I said, Brandon Ingram came back, so Nickeil Alexander-Walker kind of took another step back. Only 3 points tonight in 15 minutes, 4 rebounds and assists and 2 turnovers. So definitely a guy who maybe is more of a target on days when you know that the Pelicans are going to have BI, Jrue Holiday, Lonzo out of the lineup because they're really going to need his perimeter scoring. But outside of that, I don't see him really holding on to a whole lot of value this season. And then the only other guy I guess really worth noting is Nicolo Melli got 27 minutes tonight, 14 points, 6 boards, 4 assists, and 3 steals. Again, as they're kind of trying to figure out their front court situation, they're going to have a whole menagerie of guys who are going to get minutes. So it's really just going to kind of be playing Russian roulette with the Pelicans at this point. What do you think, Hank?
Yep, I think you're right. There's a host of guys who are missing here. Favors, Josh Hart, Okafor, and obviously Zion. So these guys, their value is going to really fluctuate based on who's healthy and who's coming back. As far as Redick goes, I think you're correct to note that his value is going to probably take a dip when everyone's back and healthy. But Lonzo Ball has shown a propensity to be injured so far. So he, the past couple of years at least. So, he may be dinged up throughout the season. Zion obviously had a surgery before he played his first NBA game, and he also, went out after a few minutes in his, preseason game. So, who knows how much playing time these guys end up getting this year. So I think Redick has a little bit more upside in that the guys in front of him may be more prone to getting hurt than not. So I do like that for Redick's season-long value, even though I think you're correct to note that if everyone is healthy, he's probably not going to be doing as well. Let's go over to the next game here. We had the Phoenix Suns visiting the Sacramento Kings. Suns made a little bit of a run late, but the score is closer than the actual game was. Over on the Suns side, we had Ricky Rubio returning from his injury, but only played, I believe, in the first half. I don't believe he even got in the second half. He had shot 0 of 7 from the field, 1 of 2 from the free throw line, 1 point, 2 assists, 1 rebound, 1 turnover. So probably producing negative fantasy value tonight due to the percentages. And I think owners are going to want to sit tight with him on their bench until he gets healthy because he was pretty productive prior to tonight. Frank Kaminsky, 23 minutes, 5 of 9 from the field, 3 3-pointers, 4 of 6 on the free throw line, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, no steals, no blocks, 17 points. Aaron Baines was ruled out tonight, so Baines was out, gave Frank a little bit more run, and I'm not sure exactly when Baines is coming back, so we may have an extended opportunity for Frank to tank. Dario Saric, 21 minutes tonight. Interesting, he didn't get more run with Baines out as well, but had a poor evening. 1 of 5 from the field, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block, 2 turnovers. Kelly Oubre, one of only 2 Suns starters to really show well tonight. 8 of 17 from the field, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 5 steals. Great. 0 blocks, only 1 turnover, 20 points for him. So the Oubre breakout is still in full force and ongoing. And then Devin Booker, 39 minutes tonight, 10 of 20 from the field, 3 threes, 7-8 from the free throw line, 5 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 steals, no blocks, 4 turnovers, 30 points for him. So, he's a stud. We know he's a stud. And as long as he's healthy, he's going to be a top 30 player. Off the bench, you got Michael Bridges. This was a good story for him tonight. 26 minutes, 6 of 9 from the field, 1 of 3 from the three-point line, a perfect 7 of 7 from the free throw line, 5 rebounds, 2 steals, no blocks, no turnovers, 20 points for him. So he's someone that, we liked a lot coming into the year. He hasn't been getting a lot of minutes. He hasn't been producing a lot. But this is very nice to see 26 minutes. If you can get 26 minutes a night, 25 minutes plus, whatever it is, if you can get into that range, you can produce standard league value on the back of efficiency and defensive statistics. So keep your eye on him. I think if he gets another 25 minutes again in the next game, I'd probably add him and see if he can keep it going because he's someone that's got top 80, top 90 upside. Cam Johnson, also 26 minutes off the bench, 7 of 13 from the field, 4 threes, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, no turnovers, 18 points. So very good evening for him. And almost a a true 9-category line, but just didn't get any free throw attempts. So I think with the Suns, Michael Bridges is an interesting player. If he can get a little bit more time, he's somebody that can potentially be a good standard league asset. Cam Johnson also, if they gave him more opportunity, he may also be someone that can produce. We haven't seen it yet with him, so let's just see what happens with both of these guys. But they're people to keep your eye on. But at the same time, Aiden's suspended, Baines is out. They're probably running small a little bit more than they will once everyone's back and healthy. So just keep your eye on those two guys off the bench. And then as far as the starters go, Booker is a must-own guy. Oubre is a must-own guy. Rubio, pretty much a must-own guy as well, even though he's hurt. And then Saric and Kaminsky, probably fringy 12-team guys for now. But both of them are certainly worth starting right now until at least Ayton's suspension is over, and especially with Baines being out as well. Anything else on the Suns?
No, I agree with you. And as I said, I think last week, Cam Johnson continues to kind of show that he has a little back-end value. There's the three-point specialist, and tonight was definitely more rounded in line from him tonight, so you love to see that.
Yeah. All right, what about the Kings?
All right, for Sacramento, the man of the night was definitely Bogdanovic. 35 minutes tonight off the bench, 31 points on 11 of 14 from the field, 7 3-pointers, which is just incredible. 7 assists, 3 steals, 6 turnovers. With the pace of the game, the two teams playing, it kind of got a little sloppy, but this is, an incredible line from him. And congratulations to anybody who was lucky enough to pick him off of the waiver, because I know in several leagues he was still floating around out there for me. And I'm very, very fortunate for that. But he looks very strong, and with De'Aaron Fox being out of the lineup for what is really an uncertain timeline right now, I think that this is something that's easily duplicable, and he's going to be the guy kind of running that offense alongside Buddy Hield. So definitely look for more big nights from Bogdan. Corey Joseph started at the point guard, 39 minutes, but only 6 points. 5 rebounds, but 14 assists. Steal and 2 blocks. So maybe as an assist streamer, take a look at Corey Joseph in a deeper league, 12-team, 14-team league. But as far as the offensive output, don't really expect a whole lot. And all the fill-ins Corey Joseph has had for De'Aaron Fox, there hasn't been a whole lot of production there. So definitely take that caveat. Buddy Hield, 28 points tonight, 28 minutes, I should say, but only 12 points tonight. 3 of 14 from the field. So his shooting woes continue. Only 1 3-pointer. 5 of 6 from the free throw line, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, and a turnover. For those of you holding on to Buddy, I know last year he was a top 40 guy. Right now, he's really, really struggling to even be inside of the top 80. I think that he'll be able to return to value. I think that the Kings are still trying to figure out this new system. They got a new coach. They're working on the lineup. So just hold. I'm sure you're not really doing a whole lot with Buddy, but definitely kind of disappointing after his bigger output the other night. You kind of hope he'd be able to continue that against the Suns. Richaun Holmes, this is what we said. When he gets the minutes, he is an absolute beast. 34 minutes tonight, 20 points on 8 of 11 from the field, perfect from the free throw line on 4 attempts, 15 rebounds, a steal, and 2 blocks, only 2 turnovers. So as everybody knows, Richaun Holmes is a permanent monster now that he's being able to get the minutes in Sacramento with really nobody there to force him out of the lineup. I really don't see, even when Bagley returns to the lineup, I don't see that truly affecting Holmes' minutes totals at least. So I think that this is something that he's a really, really strong play every single night. I think he's going to get the minutes he's going to produce, and you just love to see that happen. And Nemanja Bjelica started, as I said, sans Marvin Bagley at the power forward, 30 minutes tonight, 17 points, 7 of 12 from the field, 3 3-pointers, 8 rebounds, a steal and a block, and only 2 turnovers. Nemanja Bjelica, we know what he does when he's given the minutes. He's a great fill-in right now. The consistency is going to be an issue with Bjelica always, but he's a solid fill-in for those of us who are waiting on the return of Marvin Bagley. And then Harrison Barnes, 37 minutes, 15 points on 5 of 10 from the field, a 3-pointer, perfect from the line on 4 attempts, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, a block, no steals, and a turnover. Harrison Barnes does what Harrison Barnes does. We know he's going to provide you offense as far as points output, but outside of that, he's not really going to contribute in a whole lot of stats. Not really a defensive contributor. So you take what you can get. And then the only other guy that maybe worth discussing is with the whole calamity going on at the guard spot with De'Aaron Fox being out in Sacramento. Yogi Ferrell got 17 minutes tonight, only 9 points, only 1 assist, and 2 turnovers. So I don't see a whole lot of value there, but maybe between the timeshare with him and Corey Joseph, you never know. But tonight, Corey Joseph clearly getting the lion's share of those minutes, and with Bogdan playing as well as he is and handling a lot of the ball carrying responsibilities, I just don't see a whole lot of value for Yogi. What about yourself?
I agree with that. I think with Bogdanovic kind of asserting himself, there's not going to be much to go around, even with Fox being out. I will say on Buddy, I would be even a little bit more aggressive than you and try floating some buy low offers. As you mentioned, Buddy was pretty good in his last game, so you could try a Buddy Hield owner tonight after tonight's line, maybe willing to bite. If he has another bad game, more likely, and if he has 3 bad games in a row, I would be very aggressive because I think it's only a matter of time until he gets it going. So whatever is going on over there, whatever he's missing, I mean, he's a great shooter, and this is not going to continue. So if you've got a Buddy Hield owner who's a little bit skittish right now, I would do my best to try to snatch him, and you could potentially get him at a pretty good discount because he's been poor all year. And if you could get not poor, but really below what was expected, and I mean, 1 or 2 more bad games in a row, and the owner really may get fed up.
Who's a player that you would float for in a buy low scenario for Buddy?
I'm trying to think of what's reasonable, So what, like maybe like a Hassan Whiteside, maybe like a top 70, 80 guy coming into the year who's performing in the top 70 to 80, not overperforming, not under. Al Horford maybe. Who else? Let's see. Maybe you could get him for DeMar DeRozan. C.J. McCollum, Zach LaVine. I think these guys have a little bit more upside, but I would move any of these guys for Buddy Hield. Eric Bledsoe would be a good one.
Would you move an SGA?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, I agree.
I would. I would be willing. I'd be willing to do a lot of different things to get Buddy Hield. I think I'll be back to top 40, and I think that it's just an easy time to upgrade a player to get him.
Absolutely, I agree.
Okay, let's go to the last game of the night. We got the Thunder at the Lakers. Thunder, keeping this thing pretty close throughout, although they never really broke through. Over on the Thunder side, we had Gallo, 25 points on 7 of 11 from the field, 9 of 11 from free throw line, 2 3-pointers, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, no steals, no blocks. He has been playing very well for all of last year and this season as well. And just going back to that last thing about Buddy Hield. Gallinari's been playing so well, it's hard to trade him, and I'm starting to get over his injury history, but I'd like to at least see it probably through the end of this season before I can move with him as like a solid top 50 guy. But he's starting to cement himself as just a solid top 50 fantasy asset. So I think even this year in the draft, most people were able to capitalize on his previous injury history, but he's playing well and it looks like he's going to keep it up. Steven Adams, 24 minutes tonight, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 turnovers, 2 points. He's not doing well so far this year, but obviously we know that he's a guy that gives you decent big man stats, and so it's only really a matter of time until he gets it going as he has in the past several years. Chris Paul, poor evening for him. 30 minutes, 1 of 7 from the field. 10 assists is nice, 4 steals is nice, but the shooting really poor, only 4 points for him. 0 blocks, 1 turnover. I think overall probably the assists and steals salvaged the line, but you want to see him do a little bit more offensively. You got Ferguson, 31 minutes for him, 1 of 7 from the field, 1 of 6 from the three-point line, 1 rebound, 1 assist, 1 steal, 0 blocks. The 31 minutes are interesting, and I think we've seen in the past Terrence Ferguson can be a sneaky low-end asset for the defensive stats, but not happening now, and certainly not in a 12-team league, but maybe 14 or 16 teams if you need him for the steals and things like that. It could work out, but not now. SGA, the aforementioned SGA, 5 of 16 from the field, 2 threes, 4 from the free throw line, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, 2 turnovers, 16 points. So, he's a pretty solid player too. He's probably a top 65 guy. I like him. I would move him for Buddy Hield because I think we're going to just get better field goal percentage from Buddy Hield and just more consistency once Hield gets it going. Schroeder off the bench, 30 minutes, 12 of 20 from the field, 3 threes, 4 from the free throw line, 4 rebounds, 1 assist. 5 turnovers hurts his value a little bit, but we like the 31 points. Other than that, we got Nerlens Noel with 24 minutes, 15 points, 8 rebounds, 1 assist, 3 steals, no block, 1 turnover. He's kind of interesting because if he keeps playing well and he snatches the starting job from Steven Adams, then he can be a really good asset. And obviously, even as it is in the role he's been a top 85 player so far this year. So Noel is somebody that if he's floating on your wire and you don't have anything going on with your last spot or two, I think he's someone to add. So other than him, nothing else going on really with the OKC Thunder. Do you see anything?
No, I agree. I agree with you, and hopefully Steven Adams ends up getting shipped out of OKC to really let Noel get the minutes. Because again, he's one of those per-minute monsters when it comes to defensive stats.
What do you think? You think he's worth an ad right now in a 12-team league?
Yeah, I just think that blocks and some of those defensive stats, I mean, they're so hard to come by. And if you have a guy who is going to produce in the guaranteed minutes, because right now, I mean, Noel's getting those 20 minutes a night. So I definitely think he's floating around out there in a 12-team, 14-team league. Yeah, I mean, he's worth an ad. Pick it up and see because you're really not hurting you too much. I mean, I wouldn't drop him over somebody who, like, if you have a house or maybe if you're waiting on a Derek Favors to come back, I don't think that I would necessarily drop him for one of those guys. But definitely if you have an extra spot with the Flyers.
Yeah, I think I'm going to try to drop Cantor for him. Let's see if that goes through. My waivers only go twice a week, so let's see if we can get a little bit of love here for Noel. All right, what do you see on the Lakers side?
All right, on the Lakers side, LeBron James leading the charge tonight, 37 minutes, 25 points, on 10 of 20 from the field, 2 3-pointers, 3 or 5 from the line, so it didn't absolutely kill you tonight. 11 rebounds, 10 assists, 7 turnovers, so that definitely killed you. And then 2 steals. LeBron is, I mean, he might be one of the best to ever do it, if not the best to ever do it, but his free throw percentage and his turnovers, I mean, they're going to be anchors on your team for the entirety of the season. We know that. Given the volume, given the amount of touches and his usage, those aren't going to go away. So that just is what it is. Anthony Davis, 37 minutes tonight, 34 points on 13 and 24 from the field, 3 3-pointers, so that's excellent. 5 of 6 from the line, very strong. 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 steals, 2 blocks, 2 turnovers. I mean, we know how great this guy can be. We know he's been kind of in and out of the lineup. There's some murmurs about the shoulder injury, but tonight looked very, very strong, really, really good across the board. And when AD's out there, you love it. JaVale McGee looks like he got the lion's share of the minutes tonight at the center position, 22 minutes, but only 8 points, 6 rebounds, a steal, and 4 blocks. It's going to be either him or Dwight Howard that's getting you those blocks on a night-in, night-out basis. Who it's going to be, it appears it's just kind of going to be at a flip of a coin. So that's another situation that's kind of, take your own risk. But as I said, JaVale was the guy tonight. Danny Green, 20 minutes, only 5 points, only 1 3-pointer, no free throw attempts, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and no defensive stats. So pretty empty line from Danny. KCP, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, 13 points tonight in 33 minutes. Actually made 3 3-pointers and 5 of 9 from the field, so not completely terrible tonight from KCP. Very rare. 4 rebounds, 2 assists, no defensive stats, and no turnovers. Kuzma, another guy who played tonight but had an early, I believe, eye injury and left the game. Only 5 points, no rebounds, no assists, no defensive stats. Rondo, probably the only other guy worth mentioning tonight. 27 minutes, 8 points, 1 3-pointer, 1 2 from the free throw line, 2 rebounds, 10 assists, 3 turnovers. Again, if you're kind of category hunting in a deeper league and you're looking for an assist streamer, maybe Rondo can be that guy for you. But outside of that, I don't see a whole lot of value on this Lakers team. Caruso got 19 minutes, but only 8 points. Dwight Howard, again, got the lesser share of those center minutes, 17 minutes, 3 points, 6 rebounds, 2 blocks, a steal, and 1 turnover. So still was able to salvage the line with the 2 blocks, give you those defensive stats and the steal. But again, whoever's going to get the lion's share of those minutes is going to be the more valuable asset for the evening. So it's just a wait-and-see approach.
Yeah, I think, Dwight, if you're in a deeper league, you're desperate for blocks, you could use them. Or even if you're in a 12-team league, if you're allowed to make daily moves, you could always add him for a game, get a couple blocks and drop him. So I think that's about as much as you're going to get from Dwight. All right. Well, that wraps it up for the night. We do want to say thank you to our sponsor, Hawaiian Isles Kona Coffee. This podcast, like all of our podcasts, is brought to you by Hawaiian Isles Kona Coffee. You can check out their website, hawaiianisles.com. You can also search on Amazon, Hawaiian Isles Kona Coffee, or you can check them out on Twitter, Hi, as in Hi, Kona Coffee. So Hi Kona Coffee is their Twitter handle. And I've started to in order to be a better company man, I drink the coffee during these box score breakdowns, and as a result, I'm going to be up till 4 a.m. So if anybody wants to tweet at me or ask me questions about fantasy or regular NBA, I'll be available all night. And that'll be a recurring theme on Tuesdays because I'm drinking this coffee during our box score breakdowns. Also, we do want to remind people to sign up for the Bruise Letter. The Bruise Letter is written by our founder, Aaron Brewski. This provides information and content that is not available anywhere else. It's not even on hoopball.com. Just go on Hoopball. Just hoop-ball.com/newsletter and sign up. It only takes a few seconds. You get it every week, and it's good information. It's going to help you understand some of the players that you're not paying attention to currently, see where they're at, see who's coming up, see who's going down. Gives you very valuable information on buying high, selling low, or selling high and buying low is what you want to be doing. So check it out, the Bruise Letter. And anything else coming up with you this week, David?
No, tune in on Thursday for another box score breakdown. And other than that, guys, hit me up on Twitter at DFB_3 with any of your fantasy basketball questions. I'd love to help.
All right, you can hit me up on Twitter. Like I said, I will be up all night because I'm drinking this Hawaiian Isles Kona coffee. Hank Aaron 26. Hank Aaron 26. Hit me up. All right, David, thank you very much. Thank all of you for joining us tonight. Again, if you have any questions, you can hit up David on Twitter. You can hit me up on Twitter. We are available for any and all of your fantasy needs. Have a good night, everyone.
Thanks, Hank.
This has been a Hoop Ball presentation.